2018 Porsche 911 Coupe Review. The good points of Porsche 911 Coupe: superb performance through the range, genuine everyday usability, brilliant handling, styling has evolved nicely, surprisingly good fuel economy on Carrera versions. The bad points of Porsche 911 Coupe: backseats unsuitable for adults, high servicing and maintenance costs, cruise control and parking sensors not standard. You'll battle to get your hands on some pricier versions. Over many years the Porsche 911 Coupe range is continuing to grow into what on earth is now a big selection of performance models, starting from everyday sports cars to 700 horsepower track-watchy weapons of uncompromising speed and excitement. And yet, in this time, the essential formula has evolved little. Rather than overhaul the rear-engined, rear-wheel drive blueprint that Porsche struggled a lot with in earlier years of production, the German manufacturer went on to hone and polish its flagship model into on the list of finest performance cars for sale today. Now it is sold on the million of those. What makes this the more impressive is such success has arrived amid intense competition from rivals such as Jaguar F-Type, Mercedes-Benz AMG GT and Lexus LC. In addition to contemporaries further the scale, for example the Audi R8, McLaren 570 GT and Ferrari 488 GTB. Why should we rate the Porsche 911 so highly? Watch on. Outstanding performance and handling across an assorted range of cars. The Porsche 911 range is made up of regular, road-focused sports cars including the Carrera, Carrera S and Carrera GTS, the supercar quick turbo series and uncompromising track-focused thoroughbreds like the GT3 and GT2 RS models. And yet, its area of the 911's appeal that exceptional performance and handling characteristics span the full range, irrespective of which model you purchase. It doesn't matter whether you're choosing a top-of-the-range GT2 RS or being economical than half the maximum amount of on a base Carrera, all models are superb they are driving. Porsche 911 engines are flat six-cylinder units of varying displacement, although all produce some time to power. The basic Carrera, for instance, delivers 370 horsepower and 450 Nm of torque at a turbocharged 3.0-liter, figures that happen to be dwarfed from the flagship GT2 RS's 700 horsepower 3.8-liter twin turbocharged power plant. Most versions of 911 can be found with a collection of 7-speed manual or 7-speed automatic PDK transmission and rear or all-wheel drive. Purists will choose to former of the option, although for models like the 911 Turbo and Turbo S, just the automatic transmission all-wheel drive configuration is accessible. Everyday usability. The chance to use the Porsche 911 for an everyday car is among the main draws for the large amount of customers. Unlike more uncompromising rivals, the non-911 models are refined, maneuverable and economical enough to use with a daily basis. Opt for any regular Carrera and claimed average fuel economy figures of 34 miles per gallon mean a theoretical array of almost 500 miles, while comparatively low CO2 emissions mean plenty will make use of the 911 as being a company car. Decent practicality, for two. While a combined luggage capacity of 405 liters bigger than a Volkswagen Golf's boot using the seats up is surprisingly generous, the promise of 4 seats is often a false dawn. Even with all the front seats moved forward, it's better to keep the spine seats a child-only zone. Handy then, that 2 ISOFIX points are fitted as standard towards the 911's rear seats. Up front there's enough space for a few adults, although storage is really a little tight because of a small glove box and door pockets. The intricate fold-out cup holder design must be applauded no less than until it snaps off. Watch out for missing equipment. Porsche 911 customers will be forgiven for believing that splashing out north of £100,000 on the car will bring a certain degree of standard equipment. And while all 911s possess the bare essentials, features including cruise control and parking sensors are not as standard on many models. Remember, although you do not believe they may be essential, paying a smaller amount extra for such additions might make your car much easier to sell once the time comes. The verdict. Porsche has produced over 1,911s since first generation has been around since the 1960s, and it's not difficult to see why. Few cars can boast this type of broad variety of talents, from daily sports car available as the Carrera to some 700 horsepower track-focused monster inside GT2 RS. Regardless one's version you obtain, you're guaranteed an auto that's near the top of its class. Just remember to check out spec carefully, make certain that you've got every one of the equipment you'll need, and make an open mind in terms of servicing and maintenance costs. And carrying greater than 2 adults. Porsche 911 Coupe Review, plus individual road tests within the 911R, 911 Turbo S, 911 50th Anniversary Edition and others. 3 different engines being offered with multiple power outputs. 2 different gearboxes, 7-speed manual and PDK auto. And 2 different drivetrains, rear-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive. Porsche 911 engines range from the 3.0-liter flat-six within the base Carrera with a 4.0-liter naturally aspirated non-turbocharged unit inside GT3 Trackwachi version, all which often are located above the rear wheels on the car. Drivetrains inside 911 differ from standard rear-wheel drive to 4-wheel drive, while 2 gearbox choices are also available, a 7-speed manual along with a 7-speed PDK automatic. Porsche 911 Carrera Coupe and Carrera 4 Coupe Performance. All current Porsche 911 Carreras are powered by way of a flat-six 3.0-liter turbocharged engine to become a number of different power outputs. Regular 911 Carreras are rear-wheel drive, while Carrera 4s are all-wheel drive. The base 911 Carrera has 370 horsepower and 450 Nm of torque, giving a 0.62 mph period of 4.6 seconds 4.4 together with a 7-speed dual-clutch PDK transmission plus a top speed of 183 mph 182 mph together with the auto. Opt with the all-wheel drive Carrera 4 version and 0.62 mph takes 4.5 seconds 4.3 with all the auto, and also the top speed is 181 mph 180 while using auto. Porsche 911 Carrera S Coupe and Carrera 4S Coupe Performance. Move up on the 911 Carrera S and power increases to 420 horsepower, while torque jumps to 500 Nm. As an effect, 0.62 mph is undertaken in 4.3 seconds 4.1 while using auto gearbox, and top speed is 191 mph 190 mph with all the auto. The all-wheel drive Carrera S, named the Carrera 4S, is fractionally quicker to 62 mph, shaving a tenth of a second away from the manual and auto Carrera S times. Top speed for that manual Carrera 4S is 190 mph, with all the auto efficient at 188 mph. Porsche 911 Carrera T Performance. Introduced in October 2017, The Carrera TT symbolizes touring as lighter version on the regular Carrera, which also comes with a choice of extra standard kit, for example the Sport Chrono package see below. As an outcome, 062 miles per hour is really a shade faster compared to Carrera at 4.5 seconds 4.2 using the optional automatic gearbox. Porsche claims the superior speed on both transmission variants to stay in excess of 180 miles per hour, Porsche 911 Carrera GTS performance. Next from the hierarchy would be the 911 Carrera GTS, producing 450 horsepower and 550 Nm of torque. Such power means 062 miles per hour takes just 4.1 seconds 3.7 with all the auto gearbox, and top speed is 194 miles per hour 193 while using auto. Porsche 911 Sport Chrono package. The Sport Chrono package can be acquired on Carrera, Carrera 4, Carrera S and Carrera 4S standard on Carrera GTS and Carrera 4 GTS variants. It contains dynamic engine mounts, analog and digital stopwatches mounted within the interior, and also a mode switch around the steering to flick between normal, Sport and Sport Plus drive setups. Engage Sport Plus mode on 911 Carreras having an automatic gearbox fitted, and acceleration times are fractionally improved, as a result of engine, gearbox, suspension and, when fitted, all-wheel drive settings being optimized. A Sport Response button is additionally fitted on automatic cars, allowing 20-second bursts of maximum acceleration, ideal for overtaking. Porsche 911 Turbo performance. All Porsche 911 Turbo variants come as standard using a 3.8-liter twin-turbocharged flat-six engine, team that has a 7-speed dual-clutch PDK transmission and all-wheel drive. Unsurprisingly, as a result for scarcely believable quantities of performance. In 911 Turbo form, your vehicle produces 540 horsepower and 710 Nm of torque, enough for any 062 miles per hour duration of 3.0 seconds, and also a top speed of 199 miles per hour, plumped to the 911 Turbo S, and power is bumped around 580 horsepower. That means 062 miles per hour takes just 2.9 seconds. With top speed rated at 205 miles per hour, torque is 750 Nm. Porsche 911 GT3 performance. The 911 GT3 is often a rear-wheel drive track-focused version with the model, boasting reduced weight as well as a 4.0-liter naturally aspirated non-turbocharged 6-cylinder boxer engine. Again, there's a collection of manual or automatic gearbox, however the former differs towards the majority on the range when you are a 6-speed unit. This produces 500 horsepower and 460 Nm of torque, with 062 miles per hour taking 3.9 seconds from the manual and 3.4 seconds within the 7-speed PDK automatic. Top speed is 199 miles per hour and 198 miles per hour respectively. Porsche 911 GT2 RS performance. The 911 GT2 RS may be the fastest and a lot powerful 911 on discount sales. Producing 700 horsepower and 750 Nm of torque from the 3.8-liter twin-turbocharged flat-six engine, the GT2 RS is rear-wheel drive just with power being sent by way of a 7-speed double-clutch automatic transmission. The sprint from 062 miles per hour requires a staggering 2.7 seconds to perform, while top speed is rated at 211 miles per hour. Engines no more available. Engines no more available inside Porsche 911 are the base 3.4-liter flat-six inside the Carrera and Carrera 4, along with the 3.8-liter unit inside the Carrera S and Carrera 4S. Both were naturally aspirated engines, offering a noticeably different driving experience to your turbocharged power plants from the current range. The 3.4-liter engine produced 350 horsepower and 390 Nm of torque, even though the 3.8-liter version managed 400 horsepower and 440 Nm of torque. Acceleration and 0.62 miles per hour times varied from version to version, with all the Carrera RSRs automatic delivering the most beneficial performance written. With a small run of models, the Porsche 911 Turbo S exclusive series was the second most powerful variant available, producing 607 horsepower and 750 Nm of torque. Gains are fairly marginal when it reaches this end with the power spectrum, meaning 0.62 miles per hour and top speed are unchanged through the Turbo S. Another unique, the 911 are sold out almost instantly, largely automobile fabulous naturally aspirated straight-six 4.0-liter engine. It produced 500 horsepower and 460 Nm of torque, giving a 0.62 miles per hour duration of just 3.8 seconds along with a top speed of 201 miles per hour, superb overall handling. Suitable for some driver skill sets. Easy they are driving around town. As with performance, the Porsche 911's handling is exceptional along the range, no mean feat when there's this kind of broad spectrum of engines and drivetrains being offered. All models now reap the benefits of Porsche Adaptive Suspension Management PASM that cuts down on ride height by 10 mm and gives your vehicle a lower center of gravity. The 911 boasts exceptional agility and responsiveness and rewards drivers of most abilities. However, despite its immense grip and poise, it's just like a hot hatch to simply throw it right into a corner and marvel because it pulls you through. To get the very best out in the 911, driver's movements have to be smooth and deliberate, not much of a hard task once the control weights are at the same time judged as these are. Rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive? All-wheel drive is standard or optional together with the majority of engine variants inside the 911, and supplies an extra layer of security for the overall drive. It's most certainly not essential. All 911s that come using the option off-wheel drive are perfectly manageable beasts in rear-wheel drive guys, but does make performance more usable in wet conditions. Even with all-wheel drive fitted, however, the 911's power is directly firmly for the back with the car, meaning there's plenty of scope for keen drivers to possess fun about the right part of tarmac. Sport suspension and ceramic composite brakes. One of the lot more popular options within the Porsche 911 will be the electronically variable active damping system, reducing the ride height by 20 mm 10 mm over when fitted with PASM and adding two selectable suspension modes, normal and sport. This functions to enhance the car's handling and cruising capabilities through getting the driver take into account two different firmness settings for your chassis, depending about the conditions. The 911 standard brakes are stronger as opposed to runners found around the vast many other cars about the road. However, should customers wish, optional ceramic composite brakes limited with 20-inch alloys offer more impressive stopping power and greater durability. If you plan to adopt your 911 on target, we'd recommend the uprated brakes. Rear wheel steering and Porsche Dynamic Chassis Control PDCC. Available just as one option, or as standard on selected models, rear axle steering actively works to improve your vehicle's turning circle at low speeds and improve stability at high speeds. The effect is noticeable, while a good many drivers will marvel in the increased low-speed maneuverability. Also offered with a number of variants is Porsche Dynamic Chassis Control that includes active roll stabilization towards the 911's array of tech created to improve handling. Essentially, The system functions to optimize the camber of the wheel when cornering. This provides greater stability plus a more direct initial transform into the bend. Front axle lift. High-end sports cars and speed humps offer an uneasy relationship thanks towards the former's low front end plus the latter's tendency to scrape low-slung fancy car. Luckily, however, the 911 is available having a hydraulic lift system that raises top axle by approximately 30 mm nearly speeds of 21 miles per hour, parking the 911. Visibility within your 911 is surprisingly good for this sort of low car, however we'd still recommend opting for that optional front and back parking sensors. Excellent driving position. Functional, well-built cabin. Good all-round visibility. Despite there like a vast array of different 911 derivatives, the ability from when driving differs little from version to version. More expensive track-focused versions may use a roll cage and slightly different materials lining the cabin, although principal layout, driving position and excellence of materials is essentially the same. Low, sporty driving position. Climb behind the wheel in the 911 and you'll immediately notice how low for the floor you sit. Such a seating position gives the vehicle a sporty, involving and a big contrast to anyone who's familiar with driving around in a very high-up SUV or MPV. If you're particularly tall or short, do not worry as there's an ample choice of adjustment inside the seats entire, meaning it shouldn't take an excessive amount effort to obtain comfortable. Just keep in mind they aren't particularly wide, and will feel a bit tight about the sides if you're of a big build. Electrically adjustable seats can be found as an option coming from all models. Excellent visibility for any sports car. The 911 advantages of an impressive quantity of overall visibility on account of a large front windscreen with skinny pillars, with an easy-to-discover out-of-rear screen, which, unusually due to this kind of car, is available, which has a rear windscreen wiper. Sound all-round quality. There's a huge amount of buttons from the 911's interior, especially for the center console, but it is all totally laid out fairly logically along with little embellishment. Sure, some rivals may boast more design flair, however the overall sense of quality from the Porsche second to none. Easy to work with infotainment system. With a great deal of buttons to regulate it, the infotainment method is one that can be operated fairly easily within the move. The graphics are attractive but straightforward, plus there's a pleasing level of simplicity for the way the foremost functions work. Tasks like searching for the radio station or pairing your phone aren't unnecessarily complicated. Reasonably pliant ride. High numbers of noise in the tires. Seats are impressively comfy. Reasonable ride, although don't expect miracles. Every Porsche 911 is included with electric adaptive dampers, or as Porsche calls it, Porsche Active Suspension Management. It includes two modes, normal and sport, the first sort giving a softer ride quality along with the latter a firmer, sportier feel. For a sports car delivering the amount of performance and handling that this 911 does, the ride in normal mode can be a good compromise and decent cruising ability which has a taut-feeling chassis. However, run by way of a pothole or sharp ridge from the road and you should feel it, no matter what the suspension mode or alloy wheel size. Overall refinement dissatisfied by high amounts of tire roar. Wind and engine noise when cruising are impressively subdued, even so the noise coming through the wide tires can be quite noticeable, especially on road surfaces that aren't completely smooth. It's not the end with the world, but does have the 911 a less suitable touring companion than several of its rivals. Seats are firm but comfy. They can be firm, though the seats are inside 911 are nevertheless comfy enough for long-distance cruising. You sit low within the car and there's an excellent choice of adjustability offered. Bear in mind how the standard seats you have to be extreme for pricier, track-focused models. Most from the essentials are standard. Yet there are a few shocking omissions. Cruise control isn't standard, for instance. All Porsche 911 designs have a similar standard equipment list, in addition to some GT models which will have less kit for weight-saving reasons. Porsche 911 standard equipment. Regular 911 share largely a similar equipment list, that has a number of small changes from model to model. Starting with all the Carrera and Carrera 4, equipment includes Porsche Communication Management PCM including iPod connectivity interface via touchscreen and voice recognition system. Connect Plus including sat-nav, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto and accessible 4G telephone module with integrated SIM and Wi-Fi, Porsche Car Connect including Car Finder, remote vehicle status, remote services and Porsche vehicle tracking system subscription required. Note that integrated SIM includes data for navigation and infotainment services only, music streaming and Wi-Fi data aren't included. Data packages or perhaps a separate SIM have to be purchased to utilize these functions. Dual-zone climate control, DAB radio, electrically adjustable heated exterior mirrors as well as a heated rear screen. Sound Package Plus, including 8 loudspeakers using a total creation of 150 watts along with an integral amplifier and digital signal processing. Dusk sensing by xenon headlights with dynamic range adjustment. Heated front leather sports seats with electric backrest and height adjustment, split folding rear seats, sports tire, 2 12-volt sockets in passenger footwell and glove compartment. 19-inch Carrera wheels, Porsche active suspension management PASM adaptive damping with ride height lowered by 10 mm, tire pressure monitoring system, black 4-piston aluminum fixed black calipers front and back. Upgrade to your Carrera S and Carrera 4S and extra equipment includes Porsche torque vectoring PTV including mechanical rear differential lock and, in conjunction while using PDK automatic gearbox, Porsche torque vectoring plus PTV plus with electronically regulated rear differential lock with fully variable torque distribution. 20-inch Carrera S wheels, red 6-piston aluminum front calipers and 4-piston aluminum rear calipers. Opt for your 911 Carrera T, and, likewise as equipment standard for the 911 Carrera, customers could possibly get 20-inch Carrera S alloy wheels painted in high-gloss titanium gray, sports exhaust system, Porsche active suspension management PASM with ride height lowered by 20 mm, Porsche torque vectoring PTV including a mechanically locking rear differential. Instrument cluster with central rev counter and high-definition 4.6-inch color display. 4-way electric sports seats with elevated side bolsters. No-cost options include Porsche Communication Management PCM, mode turn-on steering wheel for selected driving modes and 12-volt sockets within the passenger footwell. Moving up to your Carrera GTS and Carrera 4 GTS adds 20-inch 911 Turbo S Forged alloy wheels and satin black, sports exhaust system, PASM sports suspension lowered by 20 mm. Sport chrono package with mode switch and Porsche Track Precision app. Instrument cluster with central rev counter and higher resolution 4.6-inch color display. Black interior with selected belongings and black Alcantara along with a GT sports tire. Upgrading to your 911 Turbo represents a major step up business models, and, together with Carrera 4 GTS models, bags you all-wheel drive with Porsche traction management plus a 7-speed PDK automatic gearbox, Porsche active suspension management PASM, 20-inch forged alloy 911 turbo wheels and Porsche active aerodynamics with automatically extending retracting front spoiler and wing element. Front and rear parking sensors as well as a rear reversing camera, fully electric leather sports seats with 14-way adjustment, memory function for both exterior mirrors, the leader, seat settings along with other car adjustments, GT Sports leader and cruise control. Bose surround sound system including 12 loudspeakers, active subwoofer and center speaker, active audio system with 555-watt overall output and audio pilot noise compensation technology. LED main headlights including Porsche Dynamic Light System PDLS, featuring dynamic cornering lights. Multifunction instrument display. Upgrading on the Turbo S adds 20-inch 911 Turbo S forged alloy wheels with central locking and two-tone look black with highly polished wheel center. Porsche Dynamic Chassis Control PDCC, Porsche Ceramic Composite Brake PCCB with yellow brake calipers. Alcantara roof lining and upper cabin trim. LED main headlights including Porsche Dynamic Light System plus PDLS plus, dynamic high beam that continuously adjusts the beam length depending about the traffic situation. Leather adaptive sports seats plus with 18-way electric adjustment. Splash out using a track-focused GT3 and also or replacement to Carrera spec, customers are certain to get. A 7-speed PDK automatic transmission with shorter gear ratios along with a sport button, Porsche torque vectoring plus PTV plus, a flexible chassis for track use and Porsche active suspension management PASM so that the chassis to stay 25 mm lower to your ground when compared on the Carrera. 20-inch silver 911 GT3 alloy wheels manufactured from forged alloy, 6-piston aluminum calipers at the leading, 4-piston with the back, both finished in red. Sports seats plus with elevated side bolsters, electric backrest and height adjustment, GT3 sport tire. Finally, the GT2 RS brings a standard kit besides GT3 spec for instance. 20-inch GT2 RS forged alloy centerlock wheels in white golf metallic at the top, and 21-inch wheels in the same style with the back. Porsche Ceramic Composite Brake System PCCB. Two-tone interior in black and red, GT2 RS sports tire and full bucket seats in carbon fiber reinforced plastic. Porsche 911 accessories. If these does not satisfy, then Porsche even offers a whole host of choices on every 911 model. These consist of comfort-enhancing options like fully electric 14-way sports seats with memory function, adaptive sports seats plus with 18-way adjustment, cooled front seats, a heated multi-function leader, a wide choice of interior material packages starting from leather and Alcantara to mahogany wood, carbon and aluminum. An electric slid-to-tilt glass sunroof. ISOFIX fittings for the top passenger seat. Additional technology and driver assistance options include Bose or Burmeister surround sound system. LED main headlights including Porsche Dynamic Light System plus PDLS plus. Porsche entry and drive keyless go and keyless ignition. Front and rear parking assist reversing camera conveniently obtainable along with a rear wiper. Cruise control adaptive cruise control sold and speed limit display. Blind spot monitoring and automatically dimming mirrors with light sensor. Performance and handling enhancing optional extras include speed-sensitive power steering. Regular power steering is all-watchy standard. front axle lift system to help the vehicle clear speed bumps. Porsche ceramic composite brakes PCCB. Sports exhaust system, no extra power, but more noise. Sport chrono package including mode switch. Porsche dynamic chassis control PDCC active anti-roll system. Rear axle steering. Styling optional extras include things like deletion from the model designation badge, Porsche as well as 911 logo painted, privacy glass, sports tailpipes, trim strips within a high gloss finish. Sport design package, that includes a new front apron, front spoiler and rear spoiler. Sport design exterior mirrors. If they wish, owners may even go into sustained detail using the interior look, finding the air vent slats, climate control panel and sports bucket seat belt passage painted. A range of alloy wheel, exterior paint color and interior trim colors are available too at extra cost on the standard look. Highlights are the 20-inch RS Spider design wheels and lava orange paint available coming from all 911 models. Other optional extras supplied by Porsche UK include snow chains to the tires, decorative valve sleeves, an Alcantara key pouch with stitching within a variety of colors, an enclosed car cover, a roof box, a bicycle rack and final a pull-out Skizno board holder. Not tested by Euro NCAP. Should still work in an accident. 2 ICE fix points as standard. The Porsche 911 has not yet been tested by Euro NCAP and in all probability never will be, at the least for this generation of car. Despite this, it ought to still succeed in an accident with 6 airbags as standard and also a strong crash protection structure. Porsche's version of autonomous emergency braking, Porsche Active Safe PA, is offered just as one optional extra along with adaptive cruise control, although, frustratingly, is just available using the PDK automatic gearbox. Working between 18,130 miles per hour, it includes an audible warning then automatic braking if the machine detects that your automobile is approaching your vehicle in front too rapidly. Blind spot monitoring is additionally available just as one optional extra, along with speed sign recognition. How many ICE-fix child car seats can I fit in the Porsche 911 Coupe? Porsche 911 models with rear seats fitted come as standard with 2 ICE-fix points, while using option to get a third on-top passenger seat. Enough room for a few adults beforehand. Little inside the way of safekeeping. Luggage space is surprisingly capacious. Up front there's a lot of room for a few adults on account of clever overall packaging and seats which are positioned low down from the car. Plenty of adjustment inside steering wheel and seats shows that drivers and passengers of most sizes should be able to acquire comfortable quickly. In the rear, however, it's a fully different story. Unless those in the top are a lot less than 5 foot tall, it's near impossible for getting any adults from the back, and even though you do, they'll need next to no headroom. Reserve these seats for either smaller children or sub 5 minutes drives as time goes on. However, before we too critical, it's worth considering that many with the 911's rivals, especially when you get approximately Turbo and Turbo S spec, will not even offer the choice of rear seats. Storage space inside cabin is tight on account of a small glove box and door pockets, plus little within the way of other useful cubbies and trays. However, Porsche need to be applauded because of its intricate cup holder design that folds out on the dashboard within the passenger side. Despite its svelte appearance, the Porsche 911 is in fact longer and much wider when compared to a Volkswagen Golf hatchback. And while visibility is good for any sports car, It may prove tricky watching the 911 for your average-sized garage. Parking sensors aren't standard either, nor is really a reversing camera, so bear this plan when spec'ing your 911. The Porsche 911 has two boots. The primary safekeeping is in the leading and holds 145 liters of luggage, enough for the large soft bag as well as a briefcase. It's a pleasant, deep load bay that, and not particularly wide, accommodates an amazing amount if you're smart about packaging. To access the next boot 260 liters, one or both in the rear seats should be folded down. This is often a fairly simple task on paper, but a majority of users could find it tricky to contort themselves in the evening folding front seats and into the rear in the car to release a corner seats.